If he won't claim you, it's a shut up ring.
We're in a good space, happy. She's superb.
Rich, she says wife and husband, and you say she's been great. I just want to give you one more chance here.
No,
as a husband myself.
Yes,
you might want to say
she's been great for me. Yeah,
Yes.
we've been great for each other.
You've been great for each other.
Yes.
That's what I said. We've been great for each other.
You don't use those terms.
And again, I'm starting to understand how people go, oh, he said this, he said that.
Right.
I'm just not the type of person to put my personal life. It's not for the media. It's not for paparazzi.
It's for
If he won't claim you, it's a shut up ring.
We're in a good space, happy. She's superb.
Rich, she says wife and husband, and you say she's been great. I just want to give you one more chance here.
No,
as a husband myself.
You might want to say she's been great for me. Yeah, we've been great for each other.
You've been great for each other.
Yes.
That's what I said. We've been great for each other.
You don't use those terms.
And again, I'm starting to understand how people go, oh, he said this, he said that.
Right.
I'm just not the type of person to put my personal life. It's not for the media. It's
not
for paparazzi.
It's for.
And let me tell you why that's BS. Before Rich Paul started dating Adele, you had never heard of him. He is a sports manager. Yes, he runs a very big group and he's got some large clients, but he is not the kind of guy to get publicity. He's only sitting on the CBS morning show because of who he's dating. So he wants to profit from it, but he doesn't want to claim her? Nonsense. I think it's very important to discuss shut-up rings, especially among celebrities, because there's this thought pattern that once you as a woman are beautiful enough or rich enough that you're never going to have any more problems like finding a mate, and it's completely untrue. After Adele's $190 million divorce, where her husband got a $140 million settlement after cheating on her, I'm sure she was incredibly disillusioned. She did everything this guy said he wanted, even retiring at the height of her career to stay home with their baby. But this is what men who want to break you do. They belittle your success and then they use it to attract other women. But nonetheless, we all thought she was geared up for a successful second act. You know, she came out, she decided to glow up for herself, she lost weight, and then she pops out with Rich Paul. And I have to say, I knew from the beginning this was a huge mistake. I think because this guy had his own money, she thought to herself, oh, he's not with me just for the money. Yeah, he's with you for the fame and because you're still providing a lifestyle far outside of what he can have by himself. They've been in the media almost since the beginning, and he has never looked excited about her. And nearly every time we hear something about this couple, it's something that he's done to her or she's done for him. So one of the more recent things was when she canceled her Las Vegas residency. There were very credible rumors it's because he was cheating on her or because she was afraid he was going to find somebody else. For transparency, this is the Daily Mail, but they have been right before, and there were rumors from many, many sources. And you can just scan through these for yourself. But the upshot is they say she couldn't even focus on, performing, getting ready for the show. She was so busy on the phone with him. And then she flew right back to Los Angeles. Something that's not a rumor, from her own Instagram, she bought this massive Beverly Hills mansion, used to belong to Sylvester Stallone. And she said, she was very clear, she did it for him. Like, he wanted a big house and she bought this massive house. We don't buy properties with just boyfriends, lady. Here's an aerial view of the house for all who are interested. But she's done everything possible to show commitment to him. She's bought him this house. She said constantly she wants to have children with him. She wants to further the relationship. And now what the reporter was referring to earlier is she referred to him as her husband during her residency. And a couple of times since, she's, referred to herself as his wife and him as her husband. He's been rocking a huge diamond. Everyone's asking whether or not they're married, and he just keeps falling back on, oh, it's private. Is it private when you're getting all this free publicity, sir? So he's got a memoir coming out, and he's been featured in the New York Times, People Magazine, LA Times, the list goes on, but it's only because he's Adele's boyfriend, and he knows that. He is trying to make his bones off this woman. He is trying to get all of the publicity that he can get, and all the benefits he can get from being with her, and then he's going to leave her high and dry. Or he might actually marry her once he figures out he can't do any better. But it's just going to be another Wendy Williams, another Kelly Clarkson. This guy is going to end up taking her for all she has again. We have to read the signs. You should never be with a man who is not publicly excited about you. What's the big secret? The whole world knows you're together. How come you don't want to say she's my girlfriend or fiance or wife or whatever it is? Because he's trying to keep his options open. And in the end, he doesn't want a bunch of clips about him gushing over her out there so he can downplay the seriousness of the relationship. Oh, it was just fun. We just had a good time. He's trying to keep his hands empty so when he walks out the door, he doesn't look like a monster. Stop falling for it, ladies. And stop thinking that you need a man to define your worth. I think it would have been good for Adele to be single for a lot longer. And if she, needed companionship, just play the field. Because when you get this level of success as a woman, you have to be damned careful who you get involved with. And it should be only someone who's got more than you to lose. And someone who's showing you that they're investing in you, someone who cares about you, someone who's making your life easier. This guy's giving her nothing but a headache, and she's giving him the world.
Having access to money does not necessarily mean that you have access to the love of your life. It actually makes it extremely hard in finding your partner. Because people at the top, including celebrities, use each other to elevate themselves. They use their status, their money, their fame, their accessibility to uplift each other or uplift the one that's on a lower bar, whether it be a man or a woman. But they do this. But here's the tricky thing as a woman, when you uplift a man with your status, he has an ego that's attached to his logical thinking. He knows that he's with you to benefit some kind of status, some kind of fame for his career boost. And the way that he speaks about you and the way he looks, because action speaks louder than words. How you present yourself really shows that I'm not into this person and I'm with this person because I have to be if I need this in my career. I need this marriage to work because this woman brings a lot of value by being by my side, not just because she's a white woman, but because she's a woman who has achieved so much. Puts him in the position to get closer to that power that he visualizes in his mind. It gives him the chance to just be himself as a man. But because this woman also, her fame comes from her, does not mean that he will also get the automatic fame and success as well, We will always probably remember him as Adele's husband, And we'll probably never really remember his name. We'll just know, oh, well, this black guy has his own agency, is established. But he's not established enough to say that we can remember his name or remember him as Adele's fiance or Adele's, And that's something men don't want. That's the thing insecure men don't want, especially insecure men, Especially those who use you to elevate themselves. They would not feel comfortable being remembered as your sidekick, You would do whatever means necessary to support him, to put him first, stop tour, stop whatever, to focus on your love life. But as long as he's not secure with himself, as long as he's looking for the next goal to pursue, to become bigger than what he is, you'll always be chasing him. You'll always be admiring him. You'll always be the one trying to make things work. You'll be the one tired. And it all ties back to the man loving you more than you love him, because that's the only relationship that will work. And that guy who's interviewing him can tell exactly, as a man, he can tell how he feels about Adele. He can tell the way he says it, the way he presents himself, the way there's so much unspoken detail that she can assess. I mean, even the female presenter had to finish a sentence for him because he could not even construct one to think of Adele, because he's not with Adele for those things. He's with Adele because she's Adele,
I need people to realize that men use women for a lot more than sex and money.
So I made a video about Rich Paul and Adele and how he's coming across all non-committal and, being, oh, she's great when she's calling him her husband and basically pushing for greater commitment, buying him a house and, quitting her tour, doing all these things to signify that she wants a deeper commitment and why he's just sitting there. And this person says, oh, I have a question. Isn't he rich on his own as one of the most powerful sports agents out there? Doesn't he have his own wealth? I'm genuinely curious. First of all, his money and his earning potential don't come near hers. He's just an agent. He runs an agency, and yes, it's one of the most powerful agencies, but at the end of the day, you're only getting a 10% cut of the athlete's money, and you still have to pay overhead, you still have to pay all your agents, you have to pay taxes, so in the end, it doesn't amount to all that much. He's worth like $120 million now, which sounds great, and it's great, but it's been over the course of his entire career, which spans over 20 years. Meanwhile, Adele has amassed just that, more than that, in just the past few years. But I don't think he's in it mainly for the money. He's in it for her celebrity. Yes, she can afford a lifestyle he could never dream of, but what he wants is access to her name. I have never heard of this guy before this, and I am from a city where LeBron played, never heard of this guy. And I would venture to say most people in the world had not heard of him before he started dating Adele. I literally thought he was a rapper based on his name. Men are naturally very insecure, and that's the problem with running with guys like LeBron. LeBron's been his client apparently since the beginning, and I'm sure in the beginning he was very grateful. But when LeBron became the golden boy and, got all of these deals and just name recognition outside of his playing ability, and became a household name as so much more than a basketball star, I'm sure Rich Paul was very jealous, and this is his final frontier. He wants to milk Adele dry for the access it gives him, and that's why he's written this memoir, that's why he's promoting it. He is hoping to become a household name in the same sort of way, and I'm sure he's very resentful of Adele because we all still just know him as her paramour. He was hoping to get her fame by osmosis, be famous independently, have Rich Paul become a household name, and then he's going to feel, I'm on par with LeBron, and he's delusional because it's never, ever going to happen. The other reason he doesn't want to let go of Adele is because this is all he has, and the circle that he runs in with all of these famous guys who are highly accomplished in their own right, the one thing that he has that they don't is Adele. He has got one of the most famous women in the world on his arm. So even though he doesn't want her, he doesn't want to let go because then he's lost. Insecure, damaged men pick their girlfriends based on, who their friends like, who their friends are impressed by, who their friends are attracted to. And even though he doesn't want her, he knows that the guys in his circle are probably jealous as hell. So he's never going to let go, but he's going to punish her every day for his own shortcomings. He's going to punish her for not being the woman that he wants, and he's going to punish her because he's not the man he wants to be. But his plan is going to backfire majorly. All he's doing is making a fool of himself on a national platform. One day, Adele is going to catch on to the fact that this guy does not care anything about her, and the way he has mistreated her on the international stage is going to make him incredibly undesirable to all other women of that status. So he's going to end up, shut out of that circle when it comes to dating. He's never going to get anybody on her level again, and he's just going to end up miserable. Or I should say, more miserable. It's very sad. He has attained this amazing stature at his job, starting out from nothing. But because he's never really dealt with himself, he's always going to be looking for the next thing to make him happy. He's always going to be looking for that next score, the next level. He already has fortune. Now it's fame. Then it's going to be something else. He should really probably just go to therapy.
Insecure man who's not dealt with himself, so he would use you for anything to achieve anything that he wants to achieve. So if you're desperate for love, they need that kind of things. I guess this is why I also talked about men who are predatory, who prey on insecure women, girls who are young, impressionable, weak, gullible, financially deprived. The list goes on and on and on. They prey on such women because they are easily manipulated. It's easier to manipulate a woman who constantly needs validation of some sort, male validation, constantly needs somebody to share life with. They can manipulate you in gaining what they want from you, even when you're not what they want. And men do not will not even marry you because they love you. They don't see love and marriage as the same thing. He can marry you and not love you, but because what he stands to gain from marrying you, he will marry you. Okay, if it makes him what he needs to be, he will marry you. If it makes him shine better, he will marry you. If he gets the male approval, he will marry you. He will do anything in getting male approval. If the males approve it, he will keep you. And if it does not approve men, the male ego, then he will not. Okay, you'll become a tool that they use when they're bored. And you'll just be that, and then they will talk about you and be like, oh bro, yeah, you hit that, and then they move on to the next goal they can access their body to. And that's why it's important for you as a woman to work on yourself. It's that simple. Doing that prevents a lot of situations. It prevents people coming into your life just to take from you. And I find it imperative that you learn this when you're young. So this is why also I tell women not to even produce kids, because having kids, it also means that you have not dealt with this. You're gonna have to push it onto your daughter. Your daughter's gonna have to deal with this, or your son is gonna have to deal with it. And because he's a man, he's gonna become a misogynistic man. He's gonna become a narcissist. It's gonna play out differently when he's a man, you know. So it's important for us to deal with ourselves before we get into relationships. We understand ourselves. Because people like this exist. They prey. I call them predatory men. And I gave a whole story about predatory men and what they do and what they want from you as predatory men. So be mindful of that.